Welcome to our Trump briefing program. Today, we have some significant developments making headlines. First up, after more than 2 years of captivity, an American tourist named George Glezmann has been released by the Taliban. His release was facilitated by negotiations involving the Qatari government and the Trump administration, marking a significant moment for U.S. diplomacy. Glezmann is finally on his way home to reunite with his wife, but concerns linger for other Americans still detained in Afghanistan. In other news, senior military officers from various nations have convened near London to discuss the establishment of an international peacekeeping force in Ukraine. This comes amid tentative plans for a partial ceasefire between Ukraine and Russia. While there's cautious optimism from UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, the situation remains complex with ongoing drone attacks and unclear details on the ceasefire's terms. The discussions are crucial as both sides continue to grapple with significant losses. Lastly, the Labour Party is facing scrutiny over accusations of returning to austerity measures as they prepare for a significant budget announcement. Treasury Minister Darren Jones has denied these claims, emphasizing a focus on modernization rather than cuts. Meanwhile, the economic landscape remains volatile with rising inflation and interest rates. It's a busy day in politics as public dissatisfaction grows and calls for reform echo in the halls of power. Please stay tuned for more detailed coverage. The Toronto Star reports on the release of George Glezmann, an American airline mechanic who was abducted in Afghanistan over 2 years ago. His release, facilitated by Qatari negotiators in a deal with the Trump administration, marks a significant diplomatic effort, as Glezmann was designated as wrongfully detained by the U.S. government. Secretary of State Marco Rubio praised the release as a positive step while noting that other Americans remain in Taliban custody. Glezmann's journey home is a poignant reunion with his wife, Alexandra, after a harrowing ordeal, and his case highlights ongoing concerns regarding American detainees abroad. The Toronto Star also covers the ongoing discussions among military leaders regarding a potential peacekeeping force for Ukraine amid the backdrop of a partial ceasefire agreement between Ukraine and Russia. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer emphasized the importance of military planning in response to the evolving situation, as negotiations continue to shape the future of the conflict. While both sides have engaged in drone attacks, the international community remains hopeful for a resolution, with U.S. President Donald Trump facilitating talks between the two nations. The complexity of the situation is underscored by the challenges in defining ceasefire terms and the need for a robust response should peace be achieved. The Independent highlights the political landscape in the UK as Labour faces accusations of returning to austerity measures, just ahead of a significant spring statement by Chancellor Rachel Reeves. Amidst cuts to Whitehall budgets and a tightening welfare system, Labour leaders assert that they are not following the conservative austerity model of the past. The tension surrounding these budgetary decisions is palpable, particularly as the Bank of England maintains its interest rates amidst economic uncertainty. Meanwhile, protests erupted in the House of Lords, with demonstrators calling for the abolition of the unelected chamber, reflecting a broader discontent with the current political structure and a demand for a more democratic representation. The Independent reports that Ross Gerber, an early investor in Tesla, has publicly urged Elon Musk to step down as CEO if he continues to prioritize his role in the federal government over Tesla. Gerber claims that Musk's leadership of the Department of Government Efficiency has led to a decline in Tesla's performance and reputation, with the company experiencing a staggering drop in market value exceeding $800 billion since December. He argues that Musk's divisive actions and social media presence have negatively impacted Tesla's sales, leading to a crisis that requires new leadership to navigate. Gerber emphasizes that either Musk must return to focus solely on Tesla or appoint a suitable successor to lead the company effectively during these turbulent times. The New York Times highlights the recent release of George Glezmann, an American who had been held by the Taliban since December 2022. Glezmann, a mechanic from Atlanta, was detained while touring Afghanistan, and his release was facilitated through negotiations involving the Qatari government. Secretary of State Marco Rubio confirmed that Glezmann is now en route back to the U.S. and expressed gratitude towards Qatar for its assistance. This release serves as a reminder of the ongoing plight of other Americans still detained in Afghanistan, as the U.S. continues to seek their return. The situation underscores the complexities of U.S.-Taliban relations following the withdrawal of American troops and the Taliban's return to power. The Independent further elaborates on Glezmann's release, noting that it marks a significant diplomatic achievement amidst strained relations between the U.S. and the Taliban. Glezmann's situation was classified as wrongful detention, prompting the U.S. government to prioritize his freedom. His release was achieved without the exchange of prisoners, a departure from previous negotiations that involved swaps. The Taliban's willingness to release Glezmann is viewed as a step towards normalizing relations, although the US still does not officially recognize the Taliban's authority. As Glezmann reunites with his family, the ongoing efforts to secure the release of other Americans held in Afghanistan remain critical, with US officials continuing to push for their return. The Independent reports that Elon Musk has been financially supporting several Republican Congress members, including Lauren Boebert, who have advocated for the impeachment of judges that have blocked actions from the Trump administration. Musk donated the maximum legal contribution of $6,600 to 7 Republicans who either backed impeachment articles or called for actions against judges like James Boasberg, who recently ruled against the administration's deportation efforts. Boebert has openly supported these impeachment efforts, with Musk expressing his approval on social media. The donations come amid a larger context of Trump's calls for impeachment against judges he perceives as obstructing his agenda, highlighting a growing tension between the judiciary and the executive branch. In a surprising turn of events, Amtrak's CEO Stephen Gardner has resigned, a move believed to be influenced by the Trump administration's desire for a leadership change. Gardner, who had been with Amtrak for over 16 years and CEO since January 2022, stated that his resignation was to ensure the railroad maintained the administration's confidence. This leadership shakeup coincides with Musk's recent comments about privatizing Amtrak, which he deemed kind of embarrassing compared to international rail systems. The Transportation Department has not commented on the resignation, but it reflects the ongoing political pressures faced by public services under the current administration, especially as Amtrak has recently rebounded from pandemic-related ridership losses. Nikkei Asia highlights South Korea's precarious situation as it grapples with the repercussions of Trump's tariffs while facing a political power vacuum. With President Yoon Suk-yeol suspended and awaiting a ruling on his impeachment, the country is struggling to respond effectively to U.S. policy changes. The U.S. Energy Department has classified South Korea as a sensitive country, raising concerns about security and information sharing, which could have significant impacts on crucial sectors like semiconductors. As South Korea's export economy relies heavily on its relationship with the U.S., the looming tariffs on automobiles and other goods create a sense of crisis among its industries, further complicated by the uncertainty surrounding Trump's trade policies and their potential effects on future investments and economic growth. The Toronto Star reports that a staggering 67,000 white South Africans have shown interest in obtaining refugee status in the United States under President Trump's controversial plan. This initiative, which aims to assist Afrikaners, descendants of colonial settlers facing alleged racial discrimination by the current Black-led government, has sparked significant debate. The South African Chamber of Commerce in the U.S. facilitated the collection of names, although these do not represent formal applications. Trump's executive order, issued on February 7, not only threatens to cut U.S. funding to South Africa but also directs government officials to prioritize humanitarian relief for Afrikaners. With about 2.7 million Afrikaners in a nation of 62 million, the response to Trump's proposal has been overwhelming, particularly among those aged 25 to 45 with children. Neil Diamond, the Chamber's president, highlighted the surge of inquiries following the order and emphasized the need for official channels for registration, noting that the responsibility for application processes ultimately lies with U.S. authorities. Meanwhile, the South African government has vehemently denied Trump's claims, asserting that no land seizures are occurring under the new law and criticizing the misinformation surrounding the issue. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.
Turn on the TV screen, see the world unseen. China's on the news tonight, history in the spotlight. Scroll through my my phone again. Find out where to begin. Stories from the east to west, learning from the very best. News in China every day, learning in a fun new way. From the cities to the farms, feel the heartbeat, feel the charm. Ancient tales in modern times, mountains high and river rhymes, culture rich in every town, golden driving never down. Every headline a new friend, from beginning to the end, connecting hearts through every word. China's story always heard. News in China every day, learning a fun new way. From the cities to the farms, feel the heartbeat, feel the charm. Every headline a new friend, from beginning to the end, connecting hearts through every word.